And it's time for the Gianna Volpe Report, brought to you in part by Michael Evans, author of The Real Matrix, by Village Overhead or Doors Southold, and by Maximus Health and Fitness, 130 East Main Street, Riverhead. Now, Gianna Volpe is here this morning. I have to compliment you. You look good.
I love what you do. You do that every Thursday morning, you know.
What?
Compliment me on what I'm wearing.
You really look good today. Today she's wearing red satin pants,
Yes.
black Oxfords, very nice, and a white top with a black sweater. It looks good. Looks good together.
Thank you. Yeah. What do you call these things again?
What things?
Where they're like a cardigan.
A cardigan. That's a cardigan sweater.
Yes. I like cardigans.
I don't. I hate cardigans. But I mean,
Really?
I don't like wearing cardigans. Now it reminds me of like being Mr. Rogers.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think guys have really worn cardigans in a long while.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
They probably
A beautiful
are again,
day
though.
for a neighbor. Would you be mine?
Would you be mine?
Could you be mine?
Would you be my neighbor?
Please, won't you be?
I loved Mr. Rogers.
So do my kids. I couldn't deal with it. And that was on when I was a little kid, too.
I just didn't like the woman that lived inside of the carousel.
Wasn't that Lady Aberdeen or something like that?
She terrified me.
Really?
The puppet, yes.
Oh, the puppet.
Yeah.
Because the Lady Aberdeen was a live action person.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I did not know that.
Oh, yeah.
So, both of our guests actually are connected to the Sag Harbor Express in some way.
Wait a minute. She's Vicky Gardner?
Who?
Did you dig up Vicky Gardner from the grave or something?
No.
Oh.
No. So,
well, you said connected to the Sag Harbor Express, and
correct.
she's the only person I knew was connected to. She was the founder or the owner of the Sag Harbor Express.
So they killed it this year at the New York Press Association, which they have been for the last couple of years, and I've been writing for them for 2 or 3 years now. This year I took home my first photography award for best special section cover in the state of New York for them. It was Abra's farm.
Oh, Abra, yeah.
Right.
Abra right now is tilling the fields.
That's exactly. She works hard.
Wearing her bib overalls
That's
and
right.
green turtleneck.
That's what she does best. So I've got 3 pieces in this week's Express, and our guest.
So now we got to make sure we pick up a copy of the Sag Harbor Express this week.
Yes.
On your newsstand now.
Yes. So our first guest is the subject of a piece that I did last week, which is Andrea Fornarola Hunsberger, who is the founder and director of Elements Fitness in East Hampton Town on Newtown Lane. And they are moving to a brand new studio across the parking lot from their current one, next to Soul Cycle. Good morning, Andrea. How are you?
Oh, wait a minute. Good morning, Andrea. How are you?
Hi. Good.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you just fine. You hear us?
Yes.
Okay. So you're moving across the street in East Hampton, where the Swells are.
Correct.
Okay.
They've got a brand new studio with cathedral ceilings. And then they're expanding the boutique that they got in there because the rise of athleisure clothing.
Athleisure clothing?
That's right. So, Andrea, explain to Bruce, because I know that this is something he would love. What is athleisure?
So athleisure is the new buzzword in athletic wear. It's basically athletic wear that you can wear before and after you work out. It's fashion forward and is really like replacing the normal uniform that we would wear on the weekends and sometimes during the week too. I mean, it's completely acceptable now to wear leggings and a wraparound sweater to work. And our clients really embrace the culture of fitness and fashion, and that's really where our athleisure wear resonates well.
I'm taking it this is primarily for women.
Yes.
Because, I mean, to my mind, I mean, well, athletic clothing, at least, from my perspective or in my experience, was a pair of gym shorts and a sweatshirt. I guess it's changed somewhat.
Yes, it definitely has. So fashion-forward athletic wear is, a really hot trend right now.
Yeah.
There's emerging brands that are doing some really beautiful designs. They have, a pretty high price point, and almost to the point where they could be considered quote unquote couture fashion.
That's unbelievable. And what I like the most about it is, as somebody who, works all the time, I like it because, I'm thinking about getting changed. It's just, it eats up your time,
Right.
going to the gym. Do you know how many times I've gotten to the gym and realized I don't have like my sneakers or something? Because I took it out of my gym bag to wash or something. Not my sneakers, but like, and especially because her studio, they do bar classes, bar style exercises where they use a ballerina bar and like a ballet bar, and that is also can be considered an athleisure activity as well, because Andrew was telling me you don't sweat a lot. So you can go from the bar to brunch or from the bar to the boardroom. And that is what I really love about the type of exercise that you have. What did you call it? Your chosen language, fitness language?
Yes, it's a signature method. So the bar class uses yoga stretches, Pilates mat, and ballet conditioning using the ballet bar for balance and for strength training. And it's a challenging class, but it's not necessarily a sweaty class, which is also why I think it really resonates well with a female crowd, because you can do it as part of your day. You don't have to time it before or after your day starts or ends. It's really something that fits in with your lifestyle and your culture, because you get a great burn. It yields really quick results. But, you don't have to, stop and shower when you're done.
Well, wait a minute here. Wait a
Throw
minute.
some clothes on and head out the door.
But my cardiologist just yelled at me on Monday morning, do you exercise? Well, I walk. Do you sweat? No. Well, according to the cardiologist, it doesn't count as exercise unless you sweat. And if you sweat, you need a shower.
Well,
Now, you do this for a living. Explain this to me. Does it really count as exercise?
Well, there's definitely different parts of a balanced fitness regimen. So cardio is a very important part of working out, and it's really cardiovascular activity is very important for your body in general and your overall health. But there's different types of burn. So we, in our bar class, it's more of a strengthening and a toning class. So it matches very well with a cardio workout. So like your runs or your cycling. At the studio, we do 2 other very cardio-heavy classes. So those are our dance cardio class, which in nature is a cardio burn, and our high-intensity interval training class. But we pair those also with the sculpting and toning exercises from the bar. So the bar class, while you still get a good burn, I mean, I'm sure if you took our class, you definitely feel as if you were doing something. It's a little bit different of a burn than a cardio class. Cardio gets your heart rate up, and you're working at your target heart rate for 20 to 30 minutes, usually getting a good sweat. But just because you're doing cardio doesn't necessarily mean that you're also strength training.
Yeah, it's a good
really
supplement.
So that's why the different types of workouts work really well together.
Yeah, it's a good supplement, because I was talking to her about boxing and how I love doing that, and she was saying that would be a great pair for it, so that when you're doing something that's more cardio heavy, like cycling, they've got Soul Cycle next door, you basically you're making more, it's more effective. You're burning, you're going to burn more, or you're going to get more from your cycling if you're doing bar, because it's strengthening all these accessory muscles. Is that right?
Correct. Yes, you got it.
Yay! And I'm definitely
You're hired.
I'm definitely coming out. I'm going to do a bar class with you guys. This new studio opens. Is it still officially May 1st?
Yes, we'll be in May 1st. Our first class is actually May 7th. So May 7th at 9:30 will be our first new class in the new studio.
And so between then, they'll be open, so you can go and take a look at the space, which is exciting.
Correct. Yes.
So I'm definitely coming out and doing a bar class.
We can't wait to have you.
Somebody was saying, so you were talking about how challenging it is, and somebody was telling me that the movements that you make are very subtle.
Yes.
So explain to me, like, what did my friend mean by that?
They're small and controlled movements. So in bar class, we always say less is more. So when you're in bar class, you're, like I said, it's a strength training class, and your muscles have contract in all different ways. So in bar class, we focus on an isometric muscle contraction, which is really based on you carrying your own body weight, and they're very small and controlled movements. So they're subtle, but they're very effective. So we don't have to do a large range of motion. The smaller movement and holding it in one place kind of trains the muscle and puts that movement in your muscle memory, so that it's like imprinted in your mind and then expressed out through your body. And those types of muscle contractions are really hard and very, very, very effective. So that's why we don't do big movements. We do very small and controlled, subtle movements.
That makes me realize that it would pair really well with boxing, and even more so, I guess, with a martial art.
Yes, absolutely. And the martial arts are also they are really closely related to dance in the way that they move and the fluidity of the movement, but the stretching and the isolating of the small muscle groups paired with cardio-heavy, strengthening martial arts class, they really work well together.
And tell us a little bit about how you got into bar. I know we talked about it in the article in the Express, but the way that she kind of got to bar was that this was between dance gigs, right, in New York?
Correct. Yep. So I started as a professional dancer, and I started teaching fitness as a survival job. So I taught dance for many years, and then I started teaching fitness. In between shows and gigs, instead of waitressing, I taught fitness, and it really transformed into a second career. I really felt that bar classes were a way to work out that translated well to my body, because being a dancer, I've always thought in those terms, and I've always moved in this way. So to me, bar is like the foundation of what they call functional training, and it's like a foundation for a safe and effective way for your body to move and train within all modalities of fitness.
So, Andrea, thank you so much for coming on the program this morning. And, dancers would love this class, but so would anybody. This is
anybody would love bar class.
Yes.
It's welcoming. We have multiple, levels at the studio, and, it's something that benefits men, women, and people with any injuries, or if you're pregnant, it's easily modified.
So go check them out on Newtown Lane in East Hampton, Elements Fitness. Thank you so much for coming on the program. When we get back, we'll be speaking to Dawn Watson.